Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are healthy and safe and well. I have a guest here with me today, someone who hates to be in front of the camera, but she did it just for me. Before we get started, if you are not already subscribed, pause the video and press subscribe down below. Along with that, hit the bell notifications link so you know when a new video is going live. Period. Okay, so we're just going to get straight into it because I feel like we're not going to have a lot of time before she crawls off the camera. But I have my cousin Ayana with me.
Hello guys.
Like my literal blood cousin. Our grandmothers are sisters. But we grew up together. We also became moms at the same time. And she also moved to Dallas. So,
Yay.
She's here with us. And we're going to do a Never Have I Ever mom edition because we're both new moms. And we're both winging it and figuring things out along the way. So we thought it would be cool to do this video to kind of just see how different or similar our mom journeys have been. How long have you been in Dallas?
I've been in Dallas 2 months now.
So 2 months now. Her baby is, Molly is 4 months. Harper is almost 10 months. So they're 5 months, that means 5, right? 5 months apart? Is that what it means?
6 months?
They're 5.
But they're 5 months apart.
Yeah, because Harper was at the end of December. Molly's the beginning of June.
So wait, I thought Harper was 9 months though.
She is what she's going to be.
Oh, she'll be, okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're 5 months apart.
They're 5 months apart. So, we've been going along this whole journey together, but also have similarities and some other differences with how we do things and what works for us as moms. So, Shay's behind the camera.
Hello.
And we came up with some questions or some never have I ever moments to just kind of have fun with it and see what's been going on as moms, I guess.
Ghetto.
Seriously, the whole thing is just
Ghetto.
ridiculous.
All right, let's start with the banger. Never have I ever spilled breast milk.
Ooh, why don't we start with this one?
So I have not personally. No, actually I did just when we were in Jamaica. But
You did.
I did, and I wanted to cry, but I was kind of tipsy. So we did not cry over spilled milk that day. But my mother has dropped it twice. And I've literally had to count to 10 and close my eyes. And
People don't understand how precious, how much it takes to just get a couple of ounces. My mom dropped it once in the middle of the night when she was on a night shift with Harper. So when Harper was first born, my mom stayed the first 2 weeks to help us with night shifts and to just get adjusted. But you know, our parents get older. And when it's dark, they can't really see if they don't have their glasses. And she spilled the whole bottle. And she apologized for like the next 2 weeks, like consistently. But it was just really sad. It was so bad.
It's just the thought, like, okay, especially when you do like a good pumping session and you have like multiple bottles like
Ready to go. And you're like,
And then-
I'm covered these hours. And one goes.
Nothing.
I'm getting emotional thinking about it.
So the follow-up question of that would be, never have I ever had a milk stash.
I have had a milk stash. It's gone in and out. When I first started, I think because I was pumping and feeding, it was like I had the whole door of the refrigerator filled up. And then just as I started to get over it, I was like, y'all can get that milk out the freezer. I don't feel like pumping. Then the stash was gone.
I had a milk stash when I knew that I was going to come to Dallas, just because I didn't know how traveling and getting adjusted to everything would affect my milk supply. So I did have that saved up, but I am exclusively pumping. So there are times when I have to keep up with her growth spurt, so I'm pumping overtime.
That's the hardest thing, isn't it?
Oh God, I'm like,
Because you'll be like, I'm so ahead of it. I got this feed, this
and
feed,
then
this feed
all
all
of a
day.
sudden it's just
They
like
drink all of them at one time.
yes, and you're literally pumping on demand. So there are times, like right now, I don't have a milk stash, but then there are times where I do for babysitting purposes and stuff like that. So mine goes in and out, just kind of acclimating my baby schedule.
But we're not like those people who have like, I have
I
732
have bricks of
ounces
milk.
in the freezer. Like, I don't know
How I wish,
what, seriously.
But
But
I
I
think
just
it's
don't
kinda
think I would
creepy,
sit in. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I just feel like it's old. I don't know. I don't like
I just
that.
feel like, did you sit for 50,000 hours and just sit and pump?
You know.
Never have I ever let my child eat food off the floor.
Listen. We followed a 10-second rule and a little prayer around here. It's so funny because at first Corey was like, no, she will not Now he be like, he put it in his mouth first and then give it to her. We don't have time.
So
Molly's still little.
Molly isn't eating food yet, but I have definitely picked a toy up and or a bottle nipple. I was like, hopefully mom's saliva is sterile enough to figure this out.
Let me take it.
And that's one of those things I was like, ew, why are moms putting like the bottle in their mouth prior to? And my little sister, she judges me for it. She's like, that's nasty. And I'm just like, wait till you become a mom.
Because you're going to be like, I'm not washing all of this every 30 seconds.
I'm not sterilizing. You get over it.
Yeah, and you know, what's going to be is going to be.
You gotta eat dirt before you die.
Yeah, seriously.
Never have I ever fit into the same clothes as before pregnancy, I guess.
Yeah, I'm a whole different size now.
So I am currently back to like pre-pregnancy clothes. So like clothes way before I even got pregnant, I'm in. But I think that's because I'm just pumping so much that I'm this big. And it's
you don't eat like that though.
Yeah, that too. And it's kind of like uncomfortable because you get used to like, oh, I'm thick. And then now I'm just like,
girl, I got thicker.
I'm calling the doctor.
Thicker to the sticker. My husband be like, you gotta be too something to do something.
Never have I ever not cried while my baby was crying.
I have cried a lot of times.
I cried once. So Molly isn't really a crier. So when she is crying, I just know it's like diaper or milk. But I did end up in a hospital postpartum due to an incision infection from a C-section. And my mom had left the hospital room to go get our food, and Molly started hysterically crying, and I couldn't reach her because I was like still bedridden and sore and stuff. And I just like hysterically cried with her until my mom got in the room. I was like, I'm handicapped.
I know. So I've cried a few times with her crying, and mostly the reason is because I couldn't solve whatever she needed. She had a little bout of like colic and like gas, and she was just uncomfortable, and it was nothing that I could have done to fix it. So I think that frustrated me so much, because to me, as a new mom, I was like, of all people, I should be the one that can fix it.
Right.
And I had to learn that wasn't always going to be the case, so you have to figure it out. But I think before I really accepted that, I was like, she would look at me like,
help me.
Like, and she does that, she still does, she knows how to get me. But she would look at me like, of all people, like, you should be able to help me and like know what's wrong. But I couldn't. And that's when I just lost it.
Never have I ever experienced phantom crying.
I still do.
I do. Now I do. But I think it's like a mix of like Harper and Molly. So it's like sometimes they're both down finally at the same time, and I'm just like, wait, I think I hear one of them.
Somebody's crying.
But yeah, I just started experiencing it.
Mine is usually really bad in the shower. And it's like, even if I know other people are in the house, when I'm in the shower, I hear her crying, and then I also hear everybody else scurrying. So I like run out the shower, and everybody's literally sitting on the couch watching a movie, doing absolutely nothing. And I'm like, is she okay? And they're like, what is wrong with you? It's really sick. Honestly, motherhood is really... It's really...
They warned us about the wrong things.
Right? I always say that, like, the stuff that they're like, oh, your life is never going to be the same, and you're never going to get sleep, and you're never going to be able to work, and do blah, blah, blah. And, like, all of that stuff was wrong.
Right.
But the stuff that they didn't warn us about were, like, phantom cries and like... Just other things that, like, I would have preferred if people talked about this more than, like, the negative Nancy stuff with other things that are completely false.
Yeah, I think it was more so, like, projecting their own insecurities.
Yeah.
And kind of, like, what didn't work for them in motherhood, rather than kind of, like, a cumulative, like, this may go wrong or this may go right, and how to combat that. Yeah. So
I also think younger moms are the ones that I've learned the most from, because... in today's society, we've learned, like, whatever works for our family is what works for our family. Like, we don't have to do what so-and-so said, or, like, tradition or whatever. Yeah. Like, no, this works for our household. This is how we run our household. If we want to do this and it's completely taboo to other people, then fine. But, like, this is what works for us. And I think a lot of my younger moms, seeing how differently they do different things and how okay they are with it, not, like, trying to fit into some, like...
cookie cutter
Yeah,
mold.
like we just do whatever works.
I also think younger people are more candid about their experiences now.
Yeah.
One through YouTube and like social media and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whereas like our parents are kind of like,
they don't talk about anything.
as long as the kids are dressed well or fed and greased up and out the door, nothing else happened. Like you didn't yell at us trying to get out the house.
Right.
So you are going to have those times where you kind of like appreciate that our generation is more candid.
Because I think
so
everybody
you feel like
wanted
you're not
to
alone.
have that like
perfect
family situation, and I think with our generation it's like, no, that's not how it happened. I'm crying. Like she can, you know what I mean? Like there's pictures and stuff of real life and not this like we're trying to perceive to be this perfect family and like I did everything right. Because even with me now, like in therapy and like doing stuff, like no, I know I'm bad at this. I know I suck at this and I want to do better and be better. And I'm going to tell my daughter that. Like, I'm not going to make her think that, like, oh, mommy's just so perfect. And, like, mommy does everything right. No. Like, I suck at a lot of things. But there are also things that I'm good at. And you know what I mean? You know? Just real stuff.
Never have I ever asked for backup.
I call for backup every day. Every day. We have a lot of help.
Yeah.
Especially in this house.
And I think now, since I moved to Dallas, like, not having, like, my sister, like, my immediate family always over there, I didn't realize how much help that I did kind of have. So now I'm just like, Mom, can you come down here, please? So
we're trying to get her mom to move, too.
Yes, we are, because...
So in the comments, say, Linda, move to Texas, please.
But yeah, I'm now learning, especially 4 months in, to be able to like say, can you hold Shayma?
I was about to say,
hold Molly, please.
Prior to having Molly, do you think you had a hard time asking for help?
Oh, of course.
Same.
I never asked anybody for anything. I think JaLisa might have been the only person that I'm calling if I need like help, but other than that,
we are both very stubborn, like
self-sufficient
people, and I think that's why because we have a lot of cousins. That's why we've always gotten along, because it's like, if I'm asking you, you know it's because I really need it. Because I'm not asking nobody else.
Right.
Nor do I want to ask you.
Right.
But
I know that you will, right.
Yeah.
Never have I ever taken my baby for a ride just so that they could fall asleep.
I haven't.
I haven't either.
I haven't. Harper used to love car rides, and I never took her in the car just to fall asleep, but she did used to love being in the car and going to sleep. But now she hates the car, so that would never work now.
Yeah, Molly, she's a good sleeper. That girl can sleep.
She can.
She is now kind of like fighting that nap stage. I think it's like the 4-month sleep regression. But she kind of, once she is asleep, she'll stay asleep. So I haven't had to like with the intent to put her in the car. To fall asleep. Yeah.
No.
Thank God.
Follow-up question to that is, never have I ever had a panic attack the first time I had to drive by myself with my child.
Oh my God.
I didn't drive with her by myself until she was like 5 months maybe. I made people ride with me to her appointments. If Corey had workouts or something, I would make anybody just get in the car with me, even if you had to sit in the car. I was paranoid, and I still, to this day, 10 months later, I hate driving. Hate putting her in a car at all. And I know it's not because of my driving, but in a car, you can't control everybody else. So, like, I can be the most perfect, safe driver.
Yeah.
But if somebody's coming and they're not looking, like, all it takes is one.
One swerve, yeah. I did have a panic attack the first time. And I think it was more so knowing that I fed and changed her prior to leaving the house, but I'm just like, if she freaks out, what do I do? And then I needed gas, and I was just like, okay, do I leave the baby in the car? So I literally was like praying. I'm like, Mom, I hope I can get home on E. You're gonna have to go get some gas. But yeah, I think it was more so kind of like, what do I do? Because I'm so used to being by myself. So it's kind of like, I know I can run in the store, leave the car running, but with a kid, you can't do that. So it was like trying to navigate those first, and I'm just like, stroller. It was just...
And just when they cry, like when Harper cries, my heart starts to race. Yeah. And like I'm like, what can I do? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? But in a car, you can't do
focus,
that. You have to focus. So for me, like those first couple times that I did, and she cried, I was like pulling over every second, like trying to get back to give her passy. It's just too much. And then now being 10 months later, I do force myself to do it more because I realize I can't keep her in the house. And I also know the more that I get her out and do it, the more comfortable I'll be with it. So I do try to force myself to do it more now, but even to this day, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all.
Never have I ever experienced postpartum depression.
I haven't. I've experienced postpartum anxiety. And I still have random bouts of it. Just when I'm just really on edge and just anxious about everything as it relates to motherhood and Harper. It comes and goes in waves, and it's really, a lot of it is based off of like my balance and like what I have. So like if I'm freaking out and I have a million things going on, I'm pretty sure it's going to start filtering into that. But I know not postpartum depression, only because I know how serious that is.
Yeah, I haven't experienced postpartum depression. When I did go back into the hospital, I was like talking to my mom. I'm like, I understand how people can fall into that depression, like being like that, feeling helpless and stuff like that. And mine was just more so because I was in so much pain and I was waiting for them to kind of, like the hospital and stuff to kind of like ease my pain, and it's just like I'm still trying to take care of my baby. I'm like a week postpartum, but I didn't experience the actual postpartum depression. I think I am still experiencing anxiety. And just some parts kind of just navigating everything new about motherhood, learning about myself, my baby. Like,
I think that's a big thing that people don't talk about too, like relearning yourself. Because it's like, you really can be foreign to yourself for a while. Like, who is this person? What am I doing?
Mentality changes, kind of like your boundaries and stuff like that. Resetting boundaries with family members and stuff like that. That gets like,
and then you also get very mama berry. Like,
this is like my child.
I'll be ready to snap. Like anything about Harper, really about my family. Like, I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. I am like, this is what we doing. I don't know about anybody else or what y'all doing, but this is how I choose to run my household. Everything else is either going to have to fall a line or not come near here.
And I think it's like more so like the grandparents and like the older family members kind of like,
this is how we did it.
And it's just like what worked for you does not work for me all the time. Like I know like me and my grandmother, literally I almost like kicked her out of the house one day because she's like, you're doing these socks on. I'm like, it's literally 90 degrees outside. I'm not putting socks on my baby. And she's just like, I'm just like, well, you can go home. I don't need your unsolicited advice.
And you're
like,
already trying to figure things out. So a lot of times getting unsolicited advice or things that I didn't ask
get in your head.
You're like, it's already hard for me to do this. Like, the last thing I need is somebody else talking in my ear about what I'm doing or not doing. Like, my baby is healthy and fed and happy. Everything else is up to me.
Downstairs, like,
that's it.
We got dressed today. That was a big accomplishment.
Yes, and like that's all you want to hear as a new mom. Like, tell me what I'm doing right. Tell me what I'm doing well. Tell me I'm a great mom and that I'm adjusting. Like, that's what I want to hear. Not like, oh, baby gonna get sick if you blah. Like, no, I don't want to hear that.
Do it have? I'm just like,
why she don't got a bib on? Why
is it cradle cap? And I'm just like, stop,
please. Stop. What's this bump on her leg? Like, come on.
Oh God.
Never have I ever. What kind of breastfeeder are you? So are you the type to just like whip your boob out and do what you got to do, or are you more conservative?
That too. I do what I want. I'm feeding my baby. You could get out if you don't want to see it. This is in my house or not in my house. But I'm going to pump and make sure my baby has food. If you don't like it, you can not look.
Same. I'm just... I got to get this milk out of my boobs. I have to. For me and the baby. Like, people don't understand, one, how heavy your boobs become.
And how uncomfortable it can get.
And honestly, like how dangerous health-wise it is for you to kind of just keep milk inside of you. So to all the moms out there that are kind of conservative, I mean, I get the reservations because you have to be comfortable with your own body.
Yeah, but it's on you. Don't let anybody make you feel like you should be doing something another way.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm finna pump anywhere.
Never have I ever experienced mom guilt.
I experience mom guilt every day of my life. Every single day of my life, every decision I make as it relates to her. Like, sometimes it's for a quick second, like a little thought in my head. Sometimes it's for longer, but it's like, I just decided to do XYZ. Was that the right thing?
Right.
Like, is this going to backfire on her? Is she going to think of this a certain way?
Right.
Like, are you focusing more on this and not enough on her? Like, should you be spending 24 hours of the day with her? Like, all of that. Like, everything. Even with Corey doing night times, I'm like, is she, like, where's mommy at night?
Mm-hmm.
Like, all of those things, they all cross my head all day. Every day.
I did, especially making this move to Dallas. I'm from Philly, so moving several states, you know, kind of, I'm not with the what is he? The father of my child.
The dad.
I'm just not with the dad. So it was kind of like I did have the guilt, like, am I doing the right thing? Kind of ripping her from my sister, my brother, you know, my mom, him, his mom, you know, that whole, like, family orientation. But I did know that in the long run, it was the right thing to do. So I think that's kind of how I'm very black and white. Like, it either is or it isn't. So I just had to weigh my decisions. But do I feel guilty sometimes? Like, oh my God, I did rip my daughter from her immediate family. Yes. But I mean, planes are a thing. So we're just navigating through that.
You just think about all the different ways to, like, combat
figure it
those
out.
feelings.
Yeah. And then on my first night out, like my first social night out, I was just like, oh my God, I left my child. Like, I can't.
Every time we even step out the house, I'm like, she's gonna be like, does mommy even love me? Why is she out?
And my kid knows when I go out, she does not go to sleep. She'll literally, JaLisa and Corey watched her for me when my sister came into town.
And it was her bedtime.
She's so routine. Like, we know once she goes down for the night, she's down.
Out.
She popped that head right back up.
And she didn't even cry. She was just like, I'm not going to sleep until my mom gets back. And that's just that.
And as soon as I walked in, we stayed up for like 10 minutes and then she passed out.
Yeah.
So.
I also think one of the biggest things that I've learned being a mom is that a happy mom is a good mom.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, if I do this and if I do this, my kid, you know, will think of me this way. But it's like, even if you're doing everything right for them, if you're not happy, they will feel that.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned that with anxiety and different things with Harper because there were times where, like, my anxiety was through the roof. And I'm like, she's just randomly fussy. She knows that mommy, something is off with mommy. Yeah. Mommy is not happy. Mommy is not feeling safe and secure right now. So it affects her. Mm-hmm. So I think I learned that if I'm not well and if I'm not, you know, doing what I need to do to be a happy, healthy mom, it does not matter how good I think I am being to her because she feels that.
Yeah, and I just think even though you can't go back to pre-mom, kind of doing things that do make you happy, if it's the spa, if it's figuring out a new workout schedule, if it's getting your hair done, going to the nail salon. I mean, you're going to have to figure out new ways to do that, but do it. Because when you don't feel like yourself and stuff like that, then it is harder to kind of like be present with everybody else. Yeah, just like JaLisa was saying, your baby definitely can feel it. Sad, happy, upset, stress.
It's crazy. It's like weird how they know, but they know.
They know. So yeah, just make sure you're pouring from a full cup at all times. Not at all times, because it's going to be hard, but the most that you can pour from a full cup.
Yeah.
Never have I ever not showered for longer than 48 hours.
Jesus Christ.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that first like week, you're just like.
I was like, listen, I don't even know if I wiped when I just went to the bathroom. Like, I don't. You are literally like a zombie.
No, it's
bad.
It's
like,
bad.
You don't even know. And I'd be like, something's not feeling right.
And then with the breast milk, it starts leaking.
And then you
smell like spoiled milk. And then you smell like underarms. And then you smell like
baby and poop and pee. And it's just
throw
like,
up and sweat and tears.
But tears, all of it. But the crazy part about it is now I'm so immune to those smells. Like, I would be like, oh, that's poop.
Oh, okay.
Y'all, let's go.
Same t-shirt. This is the throw up t-shirt. I'm going to put this on because I know she's going to throw up.
Yeah,
so
I'm not even about to change.
Yeah.
I went to the spa last month, and I had puke on my shirt. I still had my scarf on my head. I had fuzzy Superman socks on and my pajamas. And I walked in there, and they was looking at me.
Hello, how are you?
It's like, I'm
Rub
here
me
now,
down.
but I'm here now. This is all that matters, and I don't want to hear it because I made it here, and this is a success. I left the house.
Okay, there's my daughter crying. I'll be right back.
Bring her. Okay, so to close it out, what's one thing or the biggest thing that you've learned in motherhood so far?
To be patient with yourself, with your baby. They are literally still learning a whole new world. You, everything. To give grace, to enjoy motherhood, like literally, laugh. Just enjoy what your baby is doing, because this is like the first of the last time that they'll be doing these things. Like the first time that they'll crawl. So I really just think to enjoy everything. Give yourself grace. Give your baby grace. Be patient. I had to learn patience. I have none.
Yeah,
So
it's bad. It's
so
really, really bad.
even just like the nighttime, like fighting to sleep, I'm just like, just go to sleep. But I'm learning to kind of like calm myself and be patient, because I know that she can feel when I'm just like
freaking out.
Go to sleep. Yeah, I think the biggest thing was patience for me, and to just be present, even if it's just not answering your phone, not being on social media, during their wake times, especially like that first month, because they're asleep almost all the time. So whenever she was up, I was just like with her. I wasn't on my phone, anything.
Right.
Setting boundaries. I've learned to really set and affirm those boundaries, because people will people. That's all I will say.
People will do what you allow them to do.
Yeah.
And I've learned that too, because you can't always blame everybody else for doing things. If you allow them to do it, I've learned that, they don't know any better. You know what I mean? Well, a lot of times they do. But if you allow it,
they'll just
do
going.
it. I'm trying to think. I've learned so much. I think the biggest thing for me was to be patient with myself and to be flexible. Because I am a planner, and I like for things to go the way that I planned them. Yeah. And motherhood has taught me, like, sis,
nope.
You need to be more flexible, because I can have, like, the hardest thing for me was to get back to working and then have a whole day planned out. And sis, no, you're going to sit here and hold me all day. And I would, like, be so flustered and frustrated and mad at myself and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, no, you just have to be flexible, because this is, yes, it's her world, it's our world. But things are going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's not always going to be A plus B equals C.
Right.
You know what I mean? I may have to finagle this, or like move this to this day, or change up the schedule. I learned that. And then also to just not compare. Even though my baby's really advanced.
Mine is perfect.
Yeah, they're both really kind of,
God bless
model
us.
babies.
Yes.
But to just not compare to other babies.
Yeah.
Or what other moms are doing, or how they're being, or doing what works for them. I've learned that as well, because I would be like, now so-and-so baby in my mom group is walking and has 17 teeth and all of this stuff. But, like, that's just not her time. It's not her time for that. But, yeah, I think the biggest thing is being flexible and being patient. Because, again, I say I am a planner. And I feel like if I do XYZ for it to work, it needs to work exactly that way at the exact time, no interruption. So even like with time and things, I am the person who has like no leniency on anybody being late on any of that. But I think motherhood has taught me, like, things happen. You'll be all right. You won't die. And just keep it moving. And just be lighter. Like, they're growing up so fast. And they also watch everything that we do. So the more that Harper gets older and starts like repeating sounds and doing things, I'm like, we probably shouldn't have did that. Or like even with me and Corey, like we do things, and like when she sees us kiss, then she starts kissing things and kissing us and doing, like, she's watching everything that we do. So it kind of just makes me want to be even more, or just like do more, be a better person, and stuff like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let us know if you want Jan back.
You have
Tell
to be
her.
part two.
Husband, what do you be saying? You gotta be too something to what?
Too something to do something.
Let us know if you want Jan back on the channel. She's in Dallas now. Welcome her to Dallas. Follow her Instagram. We'll put it down here. She doesn't really post, but hopefully I can convince her to leave her pictures up, because she'll post and then delete them a few weeks later. But yeah, welcome Molly. Molly is here. Her and Harper are going to be two peas in the pod. And I'm just so excited to watch them grow together, and they can, like, you know, be like us when we were younger.
The cool mom class.
Period. But yeah, make sure you guys are following on Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, all of that. I love you guys. Peace out. Say bye, Maui Moo. Say sayonara.